What's going on, guys? So another day working on the 240, but I'm making some good progress here. You can tell by my attitude I am a little frustrated because, as you can see right there, the transmission and clutch is back out again for like the 50th time it feels like now. But I think I figured it out. Had my buddy Daniel here with me yesterday trying to help me figure out what the deal was. Neither of us could really come up with anything good. He also helped me get the steering column in, so that's really nice. Steering column is in. It was a two-man job because you have to like line it up on the splines of the steering rack as you put it in, which is very difficult to do. Even with two people, is a pain in the ass, but that's done. Pulled the transit bell housing off and just wanted to measure everything outside of the car. I took the clutch off, at least the pressure plate and the disc, to figure out what could be the issue there. Measured all of that, and I found the issue most likely was that the transmission could not go in all the way because I had the wrong pilot bearing in. I had no idea I needed to use this like small style. I've never used one of these smaller styles before. GM cranks can accept either one. You can either use this bigger guy that goes farther out on the crank, or you can use the smaller one that goes really far into the crank. And if you have a T56 Magnum with this QuickTime bell housing, I guess you want to use the smaller style. No idea. Just didn't realize, so pulled it all apart, reached out to Facebook, and somebody local had this one, so got this one in there real quick. So I drove like 2 hours today to go get this. Thankfully somebody local had it because I did not feel like waiting on it. I want to get this in and figure out if that was my issue. So got to just take a little drive to go get this and put it in. This should solve my issues, hopefully. It seems like it will because from what I measured, the splines on the trans were hitting the bigger one before it could go in all the way, so this will allow it to go in a lot farther, and that should fix all of our issues. Finally, now I just have to press this in and put the clutch on. So clutch in, transmission on, bell housing back on. I'm getting pretty good at this now though because I've had it out so many times, but this should be the last time, and then once it goes in, the car is really close to driving. So I was going through boxes of stuff to get the exhaust out of the corner over there, and I also found this guy. Man, and now the decision, which one is cooler? This huge one or this like old school littler Holley one? I think the huge circle one is a little cooler. It just kind of has a look to it, you know? I think it needs like a Holley sticker or something though, something on here, but I think I might have to go with the huge one. Could always swap it out pretty easily, but once I get a hood, I have to cut one of them to be the permanent one. So I think I'll leave that one for now. That looks pretty sick. Also, guys, I am freaking pumped about this. The shifter, you can see it's in a spot now, and it has a boot on it. It actually looks like a car, but look at that. The trans is in its home. The drive shaft is in, bolted up. The only thing left, I have to put some trans fluid in there, put up the O2 in, put the bleeder, and go to the pedal and everything with the transmission lines. But then just bleed it and we are ready to drive. So very, very few things left on the list to drive the car. A little ways off from drifting it, but very close to driving it. And then here, I've been holding off on opening this, but this is actually a complete kit from Holley, and it's a full exhaust for the 240, so that's going to be really cool. I don't know how it works with hangers because there isn't really any exhaust hangers on the car right now, but got a full exhaust now. Look, even a little exhaust tip Little single muffler. Goes right to the hooker headers that come with this whole kit. So can't wait to put this on. This is gonna be so cool. It's got like a Y pipe into a single, so it's gonna sound really awesome. And so excited to have like a full exhaust on this car so I can like street drive it, you know, do whatever, and then it not be crazy stupid loud and probably sound really good from what I'm imagining here. I haven't really heard this kit, but I'm imagining it's gonna sound pretty good. Nice little dual exhaust tip. I really like that. It's a cool touch. So I'm gonna lay this out, get it figured out, and see what I have to do to put it in. Maybe weld in some new exhaust hangers or something. I don't know yet, but can't wait to have all this in. Bronte's in the shop. She almost wore white out here, which would have been dangerous. Told her not to do that. So you're gonna hop in the driver's seat and you kind of just have to pump the clutch pedal. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I thought you said you were taking off the front wheels.
No, I don't have to. I can bleed the brakes without taking off the front wheels. Thankfully.
It's my job.
Yep. You got one job.
We're not gonna like fall, right?
I mean, it hasn't fallen yet.
You've gotten in it?
Gotten in it a lot of times.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, the seat's not tight all the way. You probably can't even reach the clutch.
Oh, I have to hit the clutch, not the brake?
Well, first we're gonna bleed the clutch, and then we're gonna bleed the brakes.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's gonna make a lot of noise. I haven't tightened it down yet.
It's a nice wheel.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not as
Alright,
nice
what
as
do you
the
want me to
Camaro
do?
one,
Oh my.
but it's not tightened all the way.
It's not me, guys.
That happens.
I'm gonna break this thing.
Yeah, relax. How about that?
I didn't even. I'm not gonna.
Well, you don't need the steering wheel.
Okay.
So, clutch, you know which one that is. Start just pumping the clutch. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's like not coming all the way back now.
Yeah, working on that. Alright, so I gotta put this down, we're gonna bleed the clutch, and then work on the brakes. See how well Bronte can do. Well, you just spent the better part of an hour helping me bleed the clutch, the brakes, and the handbrake. How do you feel about it? You think that they're all pretty decent?
Yeah, my legs are hurting from pumping.
Yeah,
An easy job.
the clutch, I'm decently confident in the clutch. This is the bleeder for the clutch up here, and then it's got this stock master, so it's really not all that great. I might need to upgrade that, but it seemed like it'll work. We'll know tomorrow when we try to drive it.
Try to drive it tomorrow, huh?
That's the goal. I mean, I would lower it down and drive it right now if it wasn't so late at night.
Yeah, but what about the clutch being like...
We'll know, we won't know until we're trying to move it, really. Unfortunately, but it's easy to bleed. It's all right here anyways, so if I have to bleed it some more, if I need to get like a vacuum bleeder on there, I can do that. Got a couple buddies with shops local that have vacuum bleeders that I could bring it to, and we can really bleed the clutch out. It might just be how that clutch feels. It's hard to fully say. It's been a while since I've messed with a clutch car. It's been a good bit.
Yeah.
So excited to have this thing back on, well, not even back on the street for the first time, hopefully tomorrow.
Woo-hoo.
So got a couple things left on the list to check off in the morning, and then maiden voyage.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
you
tired,
excited for
though.
that? Yeah, I'm not gonna put a passenger seat in yet, unfortunately, because they're kind of a pain to put in, and I don't have everything to put it in nicely yet. So it'll be
So
a
you're just gonna friggin' have
solo
me sit on the floor?
solo voyage
Oh,
around the block or something. Well, anything can happen, so you got to be careful, especially with these terrible old rock solid tires. I don't have any exhaust hangers. Maybe I'll try to figure out something tomorrow for that, but I am frankly sick of laying underneath this car. So as much as I want to hear that exhaust, we're gonna have to wait till I get some exhaust hangers or make something. I got some ideas. I will see you guys in the morning. Also need to clean up the shop. Look at the exhaust on there. Those tips are pretty cool. I like the double tip right out the back like that. Muffler's in, full exhaust is on. just kind of test fitting it to figure out what I need to do about hangers. Maybe I'll start it up real quick to see how it sounds, but I really like that. So cool. So awesome. I love having a full exhaust on this car. That's something I really wanted to do, but it is so close to driving now. All the fluids are in it. Just need to put the rear wheels on, drop it down, and it should be ready to drive. Well, take the exhaust off before I drive it because, I don't know. I'm a little antsy to drive it. I may try to figure out the exhaust real quick, but I'm a little too antsy because there is no hangers in there, so it's gonna be kind of a process to get all the hangers in stock locations, and I don't even have hangers to weld in, but maybe I can just like bend some steel and weld it in there. Something like that I'll probably try to figure out, but I'm gonna start it up real quick because I am very curious how it sounds with this new exhaust. Now that's nice. Yeah, it seems like one of the header flange bolts just isn't tight. I can see some soot on there, so it's just burning off some of the oils and some of the brake fluid from bleeding the brakes and the transmission, the clutch. But it sounds so good now with that exhaust on there. I love that. That is awesome. So just gotta clean up the rest of this thing and button it up, and it's ready to drive. Well, after having this transmission in and out about 14 times now, I think my master, the brand new one, is leaking. Sorry, the slave cylinder. I always mix up master and slave. Master is up top, slave cylinder is down low. It's the hydraulic mechanism that pushes the clutch fingers in to disengage the clutch. So basically, I'd have to pull out the trans to either put a new one on or figure out why it's leaking. I can reach the fittings, and I've tightened the fittings, but I don't know if that fixed it. They seemed a little loose, but I really don't think that that was the issue. It seems like the leak is coming from elsewhere. But I put some red dye in the fluid to like just a little bit of ATF fluid in there to see if that, so I can see where the leak is coming from, because when you use just like clear-ish style brake fluid, you really can't tell. And it's nice because now the clutch is red, the brakes are like just like a clear, but I do want to put some like blue liquid in there because I like having different colors, and then the handbrake I can do a different color too, so that if there is leaks, you can know what exactly is leaking. If there's any drips on the ground, you can know exactly where it came from. Well, both cars are not on jack stands for the first time in basically ever. Probably ever. But this car ready to drive, and I honestly completely forget how low this thing is. It is so low. Even the roof line is probably like 3 or 4 inches lower than the Camaro. This thing's tiny. Yeah, probably even like 5 or 6 inches. But this thing is super slammed. I completely forgot about that. Tucks the tire in the back pretty nicely. The front, once it has fenders and a bumper and a hood. I don't have a hood yet. Please, somebody with a hood reach out to me. I don't want to run this car without a hood, but it looks pretty freaking awesome. That intake on there looks so sick. Hopefully the throttle cable is good. Everything in the back is good. I'm gonna close the trunk. Ooh. Yeah. Such a unique looking 240. Most 240s are, you know, like a hatchback. This one being a coupe is really cool. The notchback, whatever you want to call it. I just prefer this look so much better. Definitely is nice because you have the built-in firewall. I could go on. But it is time to try to drive this thing. I gotta move the Camaro first, so we get a cold start on the Camaro and then a cold start on the 240. Clean up so I don't pop these old ass tires. The clutch, a little iffy on still, but if worse comes to worse, I can just turn it off, start it in gear, drive it in gear. So we are ready. Brakes should definitely work. They felt pretty solid. I haven't tried them with it running yet because it does have a brake booster still, but we'll know soon. Well, as I kind of expected, the clutch is pretty much non-existent. I need to bleed it some more. I tried bleeding it for so long yesterday. Let's see if we can get this clutch to work. Really disappointing if I have to pull the trans back out because the clutch has an issue. It's all in the pedal, so it's just not engaging the teeth, disengaging the plate. If you guys understand clutches enough, you understand exactly what I'm dealing with. Just not bleeding enough. It just won't bleed out, and it's not in the, it's all in the slave cylinder. So hopefully I can get enough air out of it real quick. A little tough solo, but we're gonna give it a try. Well, it moves in gear, but like I said, we have a clutch master leak, slave leak, whatever the hell it is. I keep forgetting, all frustrated. But it started and it drove, it moved, but the trans has to come back out one more time. I didn't even take a photo of it driving or anything. Oh, it's so annoying. You guys don't understand how irritating this trans and clutch situation has been. Sure, it's nothing on the companies, it's just all on installation and doing it on jack stands. You know, you miss stuff. It's dark, I can't see anything under there. And then after stabbing the trans in for like the 5th time, 10th time, whatever it was, you know, you overlook a couple little things, and I'm sure there's just something loose, something leaking that I just can't see or get to. So I have to back the trans off. I should only have to back it off like a couple inches. But that means I have to reposition the car, get it back up on the jack stands, back it off. So irritating. This car is just so irritating. I can't believe I have to pull the trans out again before it's even finished. And now the trans is full of fluid, but it's not leaking trans fluid, it's leaking brake fluid. So it's coming from the clutch. Yep, so that's where we're at. I gotta pull it back off again, figure out why it's leaking from the clutch, and fix it. But it does run and drive pretty not bad now. Well, not really. Not at all, actually, but you guys understand. Kind of curious on this power steering. Let's give it a feel here. Huh, that is weird. It works nicely. Like, that's it off. Oh yeah. That's crazy. But woe is me, because I have to pull the trans back out. But I got to back it down the driveway all the way and drive it back forward just by starting it in gear. Not the best thing to do. Would not recommend fully doing that, but you know, I really wanted to make sure mechanically everything worked. The brakes did work. They were a little spongy, but it's also kind of just choppy and all over the place. It needs a tune, but it was safe enough to just drive to the end of my driveway there and drive it back forward. But whew, that's it. That's the video. It was a brutal one, guys. Behind the scenes, which you don't see, is me pulling this transmission in and out like 6 different times in the past 24 hours to try to figure stuff out. So just bear with me on my frustration here. But that's a good sign. I know what the problem most likely is. It shouldn't be a hard fix. Just have to actually pull the trans out. You can tell I'm frustrated. So this thing now is in the way of the Camaro getting inside, unfortunately, I think. Oh man. Well, that'll do it, guys. Remember, if you just keep working at it long enough, eventually you'll get it figured out. I am at that stage right now where everything in me wants to stop, but it is so close that I know we're just right there. So we are right there, guys. Not gonna stop now. Home stretch. This car is so close to driving. First drive was technically today. I did get to drive it and move it, but it definitely needs a lot more before it's streetable and ready to drive. I am excited to drive it. It's irritating right now. This car is just testing every single one of my nerves, but that's fine. I'm enjoying it, and I will get back to you guys, hopefully with some good news. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it saucy, and I will see you next time.